Hi, welcome back to the Amoretti Test Kitchen. Today we are going to make some pumpkin spice donuts. This recipe is really delicious. The donuts are very soft and puffy, and then with a little bit of the glaze on the outside, it's kind of crispy, which makes for a perfect donut. And this, our pumpkin spice extract, is just the perfect blend to give you that nice fall flavor. Fall is my favorite time of year, and I think these pumpkins lend themselves to a wonderful breakfast or a brunch or any kind of a treat. First thing I'm going to do is to melt the shortening and the butter. And I have some really hot milk here that I have put into the microwave, but you want it to be really hot so that it will melt these two. And then you're going to set it aside because it has to actually cool a little bit before we add it to the yeast and the flour. So I'm going to whisk this together a little bit, get it started melting. All right, so I'm going to put this aside and let this sit, and then we'll get our yeast activating. So you want the water for your yeast to be about 104, 105, anywhere between 95 and 113 is ideal. So I'm going to go ahead and measure this. I did put it in the microwave. It's at 105. I'm going to put the yeast in this water and I'll give it a little mix just to mix it up here, and then let it sit for 5 minutes and it'll have a nice foam on the top. And by that time this will be cooled and we'll add everything together. All right, so here's our yeast. Beautiful. It has a little foam on it. Perfect. Let's put that in here. And now we can add our milk, which is cooled. Now I'm going to add some sugar and a little bit of salt and 2 eggs. And I'm just going to give this a little whisk just so that the eggs are nice and mixed in. And we're going to add our pumpkin spice. I love Amoretti's natural pumpkin spice extract because it gives you a beautiful flavor of pumpkin spice without being overwhelming. You only need to use a little bit of it. It's very concentrated. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of the flour, not all of it. I don't want it to fly everywhere, so we'll just start with about half of it. So I'm going to start with the paddle, and then we'll move to the dough hook once everything is mixed in. Clean this off a little bit, and we'll put the dough hook in there, and then it will mix for 5 minutes with the dough hook. All right, so it has been 5 minutes. I'm going to remove the dough from here. Let's scrape this off of the hook, and I'm going to put it in an oiled bowl, and it will go into the oven to proof for 1 hour. So let's get the oiled bowl over here. Beautiful, and it smells great. These are so much fun to make. It's not hard, it's just a little time consuming, so well worth it. So now I'm going to cover this with a towel and I'll put it in the oven. So our dough has been proofing for an hour, and look how beautiful it is. It's all soft and nice, so I'm going to get it out of the bowl and we'll shape it and cut it into donuts. Oh, it's just beautiful. So let's get a little flour on here. Oh, I can smell the pumpkin spice. So nice. All right, so I'm just going to shape this a little bit. And now I'm just going to roll it out. You want to roll it to about a 1/2 inch thick, and it will shrink back on itself, so be patient with your dough. So give it a good push. These are so delicious. They're so soft on the inside, and with just a little bit of glaze, nice and crunchy on the outside. Give them a little space because they will puff up when they're proofing. They'll get bigger. All right, so these are going to proof for an hour, and I'm going to put them in my oven. I do have a proofing setting on this oven, and it's at 85 degrees. So if you don't have that on your oven, you can just put it in a warm spot where it's around 70 to 80 degrees would be great, and let it sit for an hour. So give it a little cover with a towel and let it rest. All right, while our donuts are proofing, I'm going to make some glaze. I have some powdered sugar and some corn syrup, some very hot water, and of course we're going to use our natural pumpkin spice extract. So basically you just put all of the ingredients in together, and I'm going to use 1.5 teaspoons of the extract. Stir it. It's a nice glaze. All right, so that's how easy that is. Now we will get the donuts, fry them up, and we can glaze them. All right, so these are our beautifully proofed donuts. They're so nice and puffy. I love it. Now, I have a handy dandy fryer here. If you don't have a fryer, use a deep pot and put about 2 inches of oil in there. I'm using peanut oil. You can use grapeseed oil, any other oil that has a high smoke point. I'm going to use a scraper to try and keep the shape. You can have your temperature at 365 or 370, 375, that's a good range. And then you only have to cook it about 1 minute per side. All right, so I finished frying the donuts, and I'm going to bring in a glaze that I made earlier, and I'm going to glaze them while they're warm. If you glaze them while they're warm, you'll have a nice thin glaze, and if you glaze them while they're cool, it will be a thicker glaze. It's just whichever you prefer. So you just simply dip them in this glaze, turn it around a little bit, lift it up, and let it slide off. So good. These are the best donuts. All right, so these are our beautiful donuts. All right, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy the video. If you decide to make this recipe, please take a picture and tag us on social media. You can reach out to us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Amoretti. Sign up for the newsletter and subscribe to our channel. See you next time.